You know what's hilarious? You may call yourself a risk taker, a disruptor, maybe even a maverick, but then you spend 3 months analyzing whether to raise your prices by $500. Let's talk about what strategic risk actually looks like, because what you're doing, that's not strategy, that's fear with a business plan. How many times have you had a bold idea, something that felt alive and electric, totally you, and then immediately talked yourself out of it? Too risky. What if it doesn't work? Maybe I should test it first. I'm gonna just gather some more data. And then 6 months later, you see some asshole doing your idea, crushing it. And you're like, I thought of that. Cool. You thought of it. They went and did it. You know the difference? They understood strategic risk, and you're still confusing risk with recklessness. Until you learn the difference between the two, you're going to keep playing it safe while calling yourself a maverick, which is very cute, not accurate, and not on my watch. So let me break down for you what strategic risk actually looks like, because it's not what you think. It's not gambling first. It's not throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping that something sticks. And it's not, fuck it, let's try some random thing, which I know is what it looks like when people do risky things. We're not talking impulsive, and we're not talking reckless. Strategic risk is calculated audacity. It's when you assess the landscape, trust your intuition, and make a move that feels and looks unreasonable to everyone else but makes perfect sense to you. It's not blind, it's bold. Here's where people mess it up. They think risk means, I have no idea if this is going to work. Not at all. Strategic risk means I can see 3 moves ahead and I trust myself and this is the play. It's chess, not roulette. So what makes this risk strategic? 3 things. Asymmetrical upside. Here's the key. Strategic risk means potential upside massively outweighs the downside. You're not betting a farm. You're making a move where if it works, it's a 10x win. And if it doesn't, you're fine. I'll give you an example. So let's say you're launching a new offer and it's low risk. Worst case, it doesn't sell. You learn something and you adjust. Going all in on a business pivot without validating it first, high risk, and pretty stupid. You could torch your entire revenue stream. See the difference? Strategic risk is tilted in your favor. Number 2, the risk is aligned with where you're going, not where you've been. And this is huge. Most people evaluate risk based on their current position. Can I afford this? What if I lose what I have? That's not strategic, that's protective. Strategic risk asks, does this move me towards my strategic vision, even if it disrupts my current reality? Sometimes the riskiest thing you could do is stay where you are. Because while you may be protecting what you built, a market is moving, your competitors are evolving, and you're getting left behind. And the third piece is you've done the work to increase your odds. So strategic risk isn't meaning jumping in blindly. It means you've validated the idea, even if informally, tested your assumptions, built in a contingency plan, trusted your pattern recognition. You're not guessing, you know yourself. You're betting based on information, intuition, and experience. And yeah, there's still uncertainty. That's what makes it a risk. But you've stacked the deck in your favor. This is what it looks like in practice. So let me give you some examples. Pricing. A safe move, raise your prices by 10% and see what happens. A strategic risk, double your prices, reposition entirely, and target a different client. Why is that strategic? Because if it works, you've just redefined your business. And if it doesn't, you adjust and try again. You didn't lose anything, except maybe your ego. Positioning. A safe move would be to niche down to be more specific. Strategic risk is to change up your niche entirely and make it a bigger conversation. That's strategic because niching down might get you more clients, but owning the conversation makes you a category of one leader. Offers. Add another service to your existing stack. A strategic risk would be stop everything and build one strategic offer and triple the price. Why is that strategic? It forces simplicity, clarity, and precise positioning. And if it flops, you still have your skills, you rebuild. So what we're talking about is the risks you're not taking, but should be, are more what you should be paying attention to. Here's what kills me the most. Most high performers, just like you, are taking huge risks all the time, but not strategic ones. Here's what you're risking. Burnout by overworking, irrelevance by playing it safe, regret by waiting too long, missing the bus. But you won't take the risk of charging what you're worth, saying the things no one else will say, walking away from what's working to build what's aligned. You're risking your energy, your creativity, your joy, but you won't risk your reputation? That's backwards. It makes no sense. So how do we get better at this strategic risk stuff? Number 1, we're going to reframe. Reframe what failure means. Strategic risk doesn't fail. It either works or it gives you data. Stop treating every move like a life or death situation. It's not. It's just an experiment that you are in control of because you decide what you want to do next. Step 2, build a risk tolerance muscle. Start small. Take one calculated risk this week, then another one next week. The more you practice, the better your intuition gets at distinguishing strategic risk from reckless risk. And step 3, ask better questions. Instead of, what if this doesn't work? Utter panic inside. What if we asked, what if this works beyond my wildest expectations? And ask, what's the cost of not doing this? Strategic risk becomes a lot easier when you realize staying safe is also a gamble, a worse one. So this week, I want you to think about one bold move you've been sitting on. Ask yourself, for this idea, what is the asymmetric upside? If it works, what changes? Is this aligned with my future vision? And what can I do to increase my odds? If the answers stack up, that's not reckless. Go do that thing. I'll see you next week.